Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Exciting day today because, as promised, I do have another new team for you guys, which we will get into in just a second here. But our first match with that team is going to be against Phoenix. So yeah, there is the new team on the left-hand side there. It's composed of a combination of a few different things. So we have a few Pokemon on the team that are ones that I have used recently and on a couple of different battle series here. So we have the Gyarados, the Mismagius, and the Magnezone. Then we have a Pokemon that I've not used in quite a long time here. That is the Florges. That thing has not been on a game since the Switch, so I am really looking forward to having that back. It's an old favorite. And then we do have two Pokemon I've never used before, new Generation 9 Pokemon. Those are the Mousehold and the Slitherwing. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how this team works out here. As looking at the opponent's team, it looks to be very strong and very meta. So yeah, not much time to decide what I want to lead with here. I think we're actually going to go with the Florges in this one. Seems to be a decent matchup against most of the team. And we'll see how that works out. Hopefully well. And so yeah, we have changed up our look a little bit here too as well, to the extent you can do that on this game. But anyway, there is the opponent, and he's going to go ahead and lead with the Goldango, which is definitely not good for us with the special shiny Florges lead. So yeah, we can't really stay in on this matchup, unfortunately. There's not much we can do to this thing with the Florges. So what do we want to switch into the Goldango is the question. I think we'll make the obvious play right out of the gate here, and we're just going to go right to the Magnezone here and see where that gets us. So there it is. And he is going to go for the Make It Rain, so that is good news for us. Not going to do too much damage to us, to the Magnezone, as he's going to take a special attack drop. Now, most of the time these things are choice, and if that's the case, that means that he is going to be locked into the Make It Rain, which would actually be great for us because this thing is going to be trapped in here with us via our magnet pull ability. So I think we could Terra, but I don't really want to burn the Terra this early, so I say we just go for a nice choice Specs Thunderbolt here. Seems to be the best option, as he's actually not choice and he goes for the Shadow Ball, so that's interesting. That's going to take us down to a little above half. He does get the special defense drop, which sucks, but we do fire off a max special attack choice Specs Thunderbolt in return, and unfortunately it's actually not enough to take this thing out, so that kind of sucks. So now we're in a little bit of an interesting situation here. I don't want to stay in because even though I think we can survive one more attack from this thing, I think maybe just barely we can, so we're in a little bit of a interesting situation here. I think we're going to have to take a gamble that he goes Shadow Ball again, as it might be the only other coverage he has, and we switch to the Mousehold. I think that's our best bet here, so that's what we're going to do. We don't want to take any more big damage on Magnezone or potentially lose it right now, so I'm going to come in with the Mousehold, hoping for the Shadow Ball. He does go for the Shadow Ball, so not going to hit us, so that is pretty awesome. So now the question becomes, we know we're going to outspeed this thing because it's not choice. Does he stay in with the Goldango, or does he try to switch to save it, is going to be the real question here. I feel like we have to play it safe here, and we are actually packing something that can hit this thing in the form of the Thief. So we're going to go ahead and break out that tech, and we're going to go for the Thief here, as he does stay in. We nail him with the Thief, and that is going to get rid of the Goldango and knock him down at 5. So that is pretty awesome for us. Mousehold taking names with that tech move, that Thief there, boosted by Technician to make it actually more powerful than a Crunch would have been. But yeah, now he's going to go ahead and switch in with the Quackleval, which is not great. So yeah, we don't really want to stay in on this thing with Mousehold. We could Terra, but again, a little early for that, so I kind of don't want to. We do have a pretty perfect switch to this thing in the Gyarados, as we do resist both the stab moves and we do get the Intimidate to cut this thing's attack, so that's exactly what we're going to do. So, there it is. And there is going to be the Intimidate to lower this thing's attack, which is great, as it does go for a close combat, which is not going to do too much damage to us, fortunately. And this thing is going to take a round of defense drops, which is great. And then we are going to regain some HP here with the leftovers. So at this point, we do definitely have a relatively decent opportunity to set up with the Gyarados. The only problem is here that they have their own Gyarados, which unfortunately we cannot do much to with our moveset. So I don't think he's going to want to stay in on this matchup, but however, I believe, like I said, it is a little premature to set up here. So what we could do is we could actually try to double switch, predicting that they switch out. That's a possibility. Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to do that? I don't know. I think we just have to play it safe. We don't want to do anything too crazy. Or do we? Not much time to decide. You know what? I think we're going to do it. We're going to try to double switch him here. We're going to switch into the Mismagius, as it looks like they stayed in. So maybe this is not going to work out too well for us. But hoping to catch the switch on their side. But they stay in and go for the Ice Spinner. So that's actually not going to do too much damage to us with the after the attack drop on their side, which is nice. I think we actually just go ahead and go for a Thunderbolt here, just to play it safe. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to go for a Thunderbolt, as this thing is going to switch out. What do they come in with, though? Let's see here. It is going to be the Garchomp, so that is unfortunate, as the Thunderbolt is not going to do anything to this thing. So yeah, that did not work out too well in our favor, unfortunately, but it just kind of is what it is. I think we can go right back into the Gyarados here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I don't know what this thing is planning. It could be hazards, it could try to take us out, but I think the Gyarados is relatively fit to handle this thing. We do have the immunity to the one of their stabs, and then we are going to get the Intimidate, which is nice, obviously. So yeah, we'll see how that works out, hopefully well. So yeah, we're going to double back into the Gyarados here, and we are going to get the Intimidate to cut this thing's attack, which is great, as he's going to go ahead and Terastallize, so that's bad news. We'll see what type he's going to want to go into here. It is going to be a pure Dragon type, alright. So there's that. And we'll just see what this thing wants to do here. It's going to go for a Dragon Rush. Okay, so it does connect, and that does a lot of damage, actually. It is Terra boosted. And yeah, that knocks us below half, which is not good, as we do get some HP back with the leftovers. So now we're in an interesting situation, because it looks like it's going to be real close, but I don't think we're going to be able to take another one of those. I didn't really want to lose Gyarados this early, but yeah, this is kind of a tough situation here. What do we want to do? Yeah, this is not a great situation. I think the best thing we can do here, we can't really switch anything in. I think the best thing we can do is just go for the Ice Fang outright to try and get some damage on this thing, so that's what we're going to do. They probably outspeed us if they stay in, but we'll just have to see what happens here. So they are definitely thinking about this one. As they do stay in, they go for a Rock Slide. It's actually not quite enough to take us out, which is great. So we survive, go for the Ice Fang in return, and that's going to take this thing down by about half, which is real nice. We are going to take some rough skin damage there, but we actually do survive with 5 HP in the red, and then we get some HP back from the leftovers. That's kind of an interesting turn of events there. It was nice to get the chip damage on this thing. Unfortunately, I think Gyarados is going down here for sure, but we just stay the course and go for another Ice Fang, as this thing just goes for another Rock Slide. And this time, it is going to be enough to go ahead and finish the Gyarados off and knock us down to 5. But It is what it is. We do still have things we can do here. I think what we're going to want to do here is go ahead and come back in with the Miss Magius, actually. And we are max speed, so we should be outspeeding this thing. So we just go straight for the Dazzling Gleam here and hope it's enough to take him out. We do outspeed, indeed, and the Dazzling Gleam is going to be enough to finish that Garchomp off, which is great. That is going to knock him down to 4. So, and he also burned his Terra there, so that is actually pretty nice for us. So, we will see what he wants to bring in response. It is going to be the Gyarados of his own there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Intimidate to cut our attack here. Now that's kind of an interesting one because we did reveal that we had Thunderbolt on this thing earlier. So I'm not 100% sure what he's planning to do with that. We know he can't Terra because he already did. But I think the best course of action here is actually just to go ahead and stay in and Thunderbolt this thing. As we do outspeed this thing, we hit him with a Thunderbolt max special attack, and that's just going to go ahead and one-shot that Gyarados outright. So that's going to go ahead and knock him down to 3, which is actually incredible for us. So not really sure what he was thinking there, if maybe he forgot that he saw the Thunderbolt, or if he was just thinking he would outspeed us, I don't know. But either way, going to go ahead and now come in with the King Gambit. Got the Supreme Overlord coming into play, which is obviously bad news. I feel like we do... What do we want to do here? I feel like we do want to keep Miss Magius around here. But what do we face the King Gambit with is the question. I think our best option might be to just go ahead and come in with the Magnezone again. Maybe try to trap this thing in with the Magnet Pull. So that's what we're going to attempt to do here. Not 100% sure what he's going to want to do, but going to go ahead and come in with the Magnezone again here, as he's just going to go for the Kowtow Cleave, and unfortunately that's just going to go ahead and take our Magnezone out outright, which is not great. That's going to knock us down to 4, but yeah, the only good thing about this is going to allow us to get a free switch in, and I think we're definitely going to want to go ahead and switch in with the Slither Wing at this point. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So yeah, at this point in the game, unfortunately, he does still have things that could switch in to this thing. I don't know if he's really going to want to stay in on this matchup, so I think what we're actually going to do here is we're going to go for a nice Choice Band U-turn, anticipating him to want to switch. He actually does stay in, which is interesting, but we actually do outspeed and get the U-turn, which takes this thing down by about a third, and now we have to bring something in on this thing, which is not good. What do we switch into this thing? That is a good question. I guess we can... What do we want to do here? I guess we can try to do the Florges. That's probably the best thing we could do at this point. So we're going to come back in with the Florges here and see what he wants to do. And he's going to go for a Guillotine, actually, which is very interesting. He does miss, as that thing has very low accuracy. So that could have potentially been bad. So yeah, I say at this point we have to just stay in and Moonblast this thing. That's exactly what we're going to do. We do outspeed, which is nice. Moonblast incoming. It's not quite enough to take this thing out, as he goes for another Guillotine and misses again. So definitely nice for us that he is not hitting those Guillotines, as we're just going to go for another Moonblast here, as he's actually going to switch out this time, which is kind of interesting. And he's going to go ahead and switch back into the Quaquaval, which is also very interesting, because this thing cannot take a Moonblast at all, so that's just going to go ahead and one-shot this thing outright, knocking him down to 2. So I guess he was just wanting to save the King Gambit for later, maybe, as now he's going to go ahead and bring it back in. So the Supreme Overlord is going to activate again, which is obviously bad news for us. I think that's going to power him up even further than previously, but we know we outspeed this thing, and we know we should live like a Sucker Punch if it has it, so we're just going to go Moonblast again here, as he actually does not have it, or not go for it, and Moonblast is going to go ahead and finish off the King Gambit, knocking him down to just 1. So Florges putting the work in here in this one to definitely get us in a good position. So now he's going to go ahead and come in with the Annihilate. So there's no real reason to switch at this point since it's his last Pokemon. So we're just going to stay in and go for the Moonblast here, as this thing does outspeed us, goes for a Gunk Shot, actually misses, which is quite unfortunate for him. We're going to go for the Moonblast, and it is actually not quite enough to take this thing out. It survives in the red. But yeah, I think there's no reason to not just go ahead and go for the Moonblast one more time here, so that's what we're going to do. And in fact, he is going to go ahead and just forfeit there. So, yeah, we are going to go ahead and get the win here. That is going to be a 4-1 win, technically, I believe, over Phoenix. Although, yeah, we know we pretty much had that game in the bag. We're not sure. Had he not forfeited, he could have potentially one-shotted the floor just with Gunk Shot, maybe, if he connected. And then we would have had to bring something else in to revenge kill the Annihilate. So, but yeah, but he knew at that point there was pretty much no way he was winning that one. So, but yeah, so a 4-1 victory there for us over Phoenix. That was a really good game. Pretty competitive there. Definitely don't like when people forfeit, but you know, it just kind of is what it is. We always would like to just see the games through to the end around here, but that is not always the case for people. But yeah, still a good one nonetheless. So that's it. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.